Hi, welcome to Navygrey, Uncut. I'm Rachel, a founder of Navygrey, and here's Jen, who is our lead designer. And today we're just in our studio, and we are just quickly jumping on to talk through the Oversize and its new friend, the Oversize cardigan. So Jen is wearing that. We'll kick off with the Oversize kind of first. So getting carried away. First introduced in 2022 and much loved, and we bring it back every year in different shades, obviously always navy. And I guess what we thought would be helpful to do is to really kind of try and explain and communicate the difference, really. Jen, I don't know whether you want to take us through the kind of some of the kind of technicalities. It's all made here in Britain, and we pack an awful lot of wool into this jumper.
I think that's what's so special about it. Yeah. The tension and the density of it. Yeah. Really, it just feels like quality, and it is. It's a beautiful Scottish spun lamb's wool. It's knitted on a 3 gauge, so a chunky knit. It's got the double sort of sandwich rib neck. An oversized fit without being too swampy, too big, but you've got that lovely drape, sort of the drape and the hang on the back, I think is really, really chic. And then a sort of a slightly dropped but set-in sleeve, a regular sleeve. It's not too wide, it's not too slim. I don't think it doesn't feel like it kind of grips.
Trying to find, so with a lot of drop sleeves and these kind of oversized shapes, you can get very drop, can't you, where it comes down much further.
Almost like a T shape. This is actually,
go for it.
This has actually got the sort of shaping and the fashioning, and it's not a straight T shape, where you sometimes feel a bit wider and a bit, it can be a little bit less flattering on some shapes.
Yeah, and I think what we were trying to do is we've put it there, so hopefully you can see kind of some of that detail. It's still, we wanted it to be oversized and obviously our kind of signature kind of net trim, but we didn't want it to be too enveloping. And so you can put it under a trench coat or a kind of big thick winter coat. So we still wanted it to not look sloppy, kind of not on top. Yeah. But I think one of the hard things to communicate is, I think it's about 820 grams of wool that's gone into this. So the kind of tension, by which we mean how it feels when you pull it, is really compact. And that
which adds to the warmth.
Incredible.
And the structure.
Exactly.
It's not going to lose its shape. It's not going to sag.
No, it's there. So in a way and also it will soften with wear. So what we do is we pack a lot of wool into it so that there's a density and genuine warmth like the moment you put it on, because with a wool jumper, and part of us as a brand, it has to look good, but gosh, it has to feel good, and also it's got to be, you're putting on that jumper for warmth.
It's got to work hard.
Exactly. So put a lot of kind of wool into it, but also what we don't then do in what you call the milling process, so at the point of when you're kind of finalizing the jumper, we're not putting lots of kind of soapiness into the softener, into the water to wash it, which creates like a sort of false sense of softness. This is kind of keeping the wool as natural as you can, which is why they're not machine washable. It's keeping everything as natural as possible, but it will soften and kind of get more flexible with wear. We always say, kind of particularly with the oversize, is potentially you don't size up, because it's a bit like denim, isn't it? It will stretch a little and give with wear, and it will soften a little bit, like kind of your pair of jeans as you kind of, or like a pair of leather boots as you kind of like break them in. But it's still incredibly soft, but it's just, it will kind of like get a little bit more flexible the more you wear it, as a kind of the wool adapts to you almost. So it's really, really lovely. It's deliberately not too big here and at the cuff, so actually you can do practical things like still be on your laptop without kind of the sleeves kind of hanging down
and
too
much.
And
as you said, pop it under a coat. You don't have to worry too much about whether it's going to fit underneath a coat.
Exactly. But so we've got it in our lay colourway, which is what I'm wearing here. We have it in our signature navy. We've got it in our fossil grey, and then also So a little bit festive, not quite yet, but soon. We've got it in our really lovely kind of rich kind of carmine red, which we haven't done before. So we haven't done it in the grey, and we haven't done it in the red before. So
it's a really rich red, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's
got a
not
lovely depth to it.
Yeah, it's almost got a kind of, it's got a darker undertone.
Blue in it almost.
Yeah, which makes it, incredibly kind of versatile and say not too festive, so it feels relevant kind of all year round. And then this year, what we then introduced, because everyone was sort of loving this kind of oversize and the thickness kind of it. I'll come a bit closer so you can kind of see it. Jen is wearing our oversized cardigan. So same kind of on the whole silhouette, I would say. I don't know whether Jen
pretty well. A couple of tweaks just to allow for it being a cardigan.
Yeah.
But yes, ultimately, same detail, same double neck, nice clean placket. And then we've got this nice little sort of asymmetric pocket. And then, same rib detail on the hem, the same sort of drape and shape, I would say.
And this really starts to go into that jacket / cardigan name for that category we kind of need, where it is actually doing both jobs. I think it's fair to say, because again, the density of the wool to give you that genuine warmth is really there.
That you could,
and that's in the Cara Brown. So, and then we've also got it just here in our Nordic blue. I say it's got the little pocket. It's all made here in Britain.
And the contrast navy buttons, which are the Carrozzo buttons from
they're all done in Gloucestershire. And it's just got a real, it's going to keep
it just feels warm.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And I think this is one of the hardest things with knitwear, and particularly the wool that we use, that it feels different. And that is because the wool is incredibly soft. Some of the softest kind of out there, all spun in Scotland. But it's not just about that fibre. It's about the way that, working with our partner knitters managed to knit it, and how the tension is what we call it. So it sort of gives it real compactness, and that's kind of, that difference. And there'll be, I think somebody actually said the other day, gosh, I really don't need to put the heating on, do I? So that's the goal. So that hopefully gives you a little bit more detail about the oversize and why it's become so loved, and why we had to introduce it in a cardigan, and why we keep bringing it back. So thank you for listening.